Welcome back to Passionate World Radio's Network Live Action Newsletter. Come one, come all, and listen to what is going to happen in the first 2 weeks of May. May 2nd, Monday, 11 a.m., Penny Nance, and she represents the Women's Conservative Party on how people shall look at women in politics. And then at noon, Carrie Zane, an Emmy winner, who wrote a fiction book about parents and their kids and what happens when the two mix. Tuesday, May 3rd, 10 a.m., Tap, Florida. What's going on down there in the real estate market? Incidentally, May 2nd, both interviews are live. Go to Spreaker, S-P-R-E-A-K-E-R, Spreaker. And feel free to ask questions in our chat section. Then, on Thursday, May 5th, from 11:15 to 11:25 a.m., all times are Eastern, come meet one of the people who contribute to the book, Captain America versus Iron Man, Freedom, Security, Psychology, forward by Stan Lee, edited by Travis Langley. This engrossing compendium explores the complex psychological and political choices made by two iconic superheroes through 10 essays. Captain America versus Iron Man, Freedom, Security, Psychology analyzes the debate about national security versus individual freedoms. Contributors: Jenna Bush, Jose Cardona, Tommy Cash, J. Scott Jordan, Alan Kitzler, Alex Langley, Travis Langley, Stan Lee, Martin Lloyd, Patrick O'Connor, Billy San Juan, Juanita Scarlett, Lara Taylor, Eric D. Wesselman, Mara Wood, and E. Paul Zaire. So come join us. I started reading the book, folks. It's something that you really do want to come and join us. Freedom versus security. That is the question, explored on our latest entry into the popular psychology series, with two iconic superheroes come to completely opposite conclusions. So come and join us. I'm sure you will be vastly entertained. Or as Tony Stark said, I can create a world without war, without hate or jealousy, but then it wouldn't be the world we live in. Nothing would be learned, nothing would be gained. We wouldn't advance as a species. I bet that explains why our behavior hasn't changed since we've come down from the trees, huh? The great ape syndrome is still the great man syndrome. Well, that's another story. May 9th, Monday, 11 a.m., climate change. Do you believe that our climate has changed, or is it the same miserable climate that we've had for ages? May 11th, Wednesday, 10:15 to 10:25 a.m., Sean McFate. The new military warfare, is it different, or has it just remained the same with bigger guns, more chemicals, and the right to remain silent? So that is what is being planned for PWRN at the moment. And then we're trying something new. They're called AudioBlogs. And what I do is take a post, actually a blog that I've already done. And yes, you've got it. I put it into an audio blog. And yes, as soon as I figure it out, I'll probably make it into a video blog as well. Lillian Caldwell. I am fine. How are you doing? I'm in Pennsylvania. Yep. Well, it really isn't much changed from the life that I had back in Ann Arbor, except that we now babysit our grandkids a little bit more than we used to. I mean, that's why we came out here. We were asked to come and help them because now they have a little one that they really hadn't planned on, and he's now 2.5 years old, but he's a handful. He's just like his daddy. I told my son, I told you I'd get even with you, even if maybe the twins weren't bad enough. So they wanted help, and so we made sure that we were a little bit longer than 30 minutes away from them. And we're in the middle of Amish country. In fact, the town we live in, the Amish own about 80% of it. So there are a lot of cows and chickens and horses around us. It really is very nice, and my husband wanted an acre of land, so we got an acre of land, and my husband wanted a basement so he can set up his model railroad, so we have a basement. But there's a room within the basement that I'm putting into a studio. So we'll be doing video as well as audio. So little by little, and today is his last day of work. May 1st is his first day of retirement. Well, he has a bucket list. He'll be outside with the garden, and he'll be outside doing whatever he does outside, and then he wants to take his 1,000 record collection and put it onto CDs, and he's going to help me get the studio set up and stuff like that. I mean, he'll keep himself busy. It's a good plan. The reason why I called you, Tracy, was to ask you to write a testimonial for me in the station so that people know what a neat place PWR is and the fact that I have your son as an intern and he's been quite successful. And I want people to know that if they have a child who has a problem similar to Dan's, that they can sign them up as an intern with the station and see these kind of results as well. Because I really think it's important because these kids are not usually hired as interns because the companies always have some kind of thing that they can use as a loophole to get around. And I'm trying to change that image and perception because I know Dan is doing quite well. He's blossoming where he is. He's still doing podcasts with us. And I'm hoping to keep on expanding his horizons so he'll have more to offer, not only to himself, but for other places he may want to go to. You can turn it in an email. My email is still lillian.caldwell@gmail.com. I just want people to know what we've done and how you feel about the station and, what we've done for, because Dan has about 3,000 to 5,000 people following him. I have a lot of people who comment on his blog and, have great things to say about what he's doing, and I want him to know that. Jeannie White. Campus violence. Well, any kind of information you think that we could use and put into a program, or people who we can contact and talk to them about it, because this is one of the things that's been swept under the carpet, proverbial carpet. And I really feel there was campus violence when I went to school, and I'm sure there was when you went to school, and nothing's really been done about it. And in fact, when I went to school, there were 2 little girls who were raped and then killed. And the people were indignant and they were outraged, but guess what? When nothing happened, nothing was done. And when it happened to me and I was violated, they said, well, it was my fault. I shouldn't have been sitting in a provocative manner on the blanket stripped down. And I'm thinking, huh? I was fully clothed and I was studying for an exam. How does that put me in a provocative position? And the thing is, this, along with nurse violence and abuse, nobody wants to address because it's not a popular subject and it doesn't have anything to do with a man. And if there's a man that's violated, you hear it all over the place, God forbid. But when it's a woman, especially a woman that's in a vocation, well, she's supposed to suffer anyway. She's a nurse, isn't she? And we're just right up there with teachers and other things that are allotted or allowed for women. And if anything, the older I've gotten, the more radical I've become, and which I know is not supposed to happen. I'm supposed to become more conservative and careful. But at 65, I don't care anymore. I've already paid my dues. I've been through the system. I've sold a mug, worn a T-shirt. And at this point, what can they do to me? Kill me? Well, everybody dies eventually. And what can I say? I'm in a position where I can really try and do something about it. So I'm trying to do something about it. In fact, you might be interested to know, and you may pass along to your students this topic. One of my hosts, Millie Best, she's half American, half black, and half an Indian. And she's been advocating the cause of veterans for the last 10, 15 years. She got a law passed inadvertently, but she still got it passed, that if a veteran can prove he's 100% handicapped, he does not have to pay mortgage on it, and his house cannot be taken away from him. So that may be something you may want to pass along to your students, that this is not a famous person. This is not a person who is some celebrityism. She's not one of the earls or dukes of the so-called financial Wall Street Donald Duck system. This is a plain, ordinary, mixed-race person who got out with she doesn't even have a college degree. But she did something. She made something something that was important to her. She wasn't married to any veteran. She just saw a need that was not being addressed, so she went out and did it. And she kept on pounding it over and over and over again. Finally, somebody heard. And I think that kids in school today, especially college, need to hear this. They need to be aware that plain Joe, part of the holding up the world on their shoulders, and since athletes retired years ago, can make a difference. You just have to have the balls for it. And hang in there. And it's something that you really believe in. And I know that a lot of the kids who are African American or a mixed race, black and Latino or black and Indian, they think no one's listening. They're listening. You just have to keep on repeating yourself. So if you know of any, I know you work with students who may have their doubts from time to time, you may want to pass this along to them.